here. You're on a red star. You're already letting me know that they're pumped to hear you.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, I made it. Sorry that I'm late.
No, I was late too. It's okay. People, it's the right time. It's God's time, and the people who are tuning in now, who is supposed to be hearing this, fine, fine. Besides the technological issues, and the social media issues, how are you? How was Christmas? Bit on what now for you?
Christmas was good. I am just now in Chicago. Enjoyed some snow last night, and have a chili cooking in my crock pot. So looking forward to that after we get off this call. So can't complain.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And then training wise, next.
Training, we have camp coming up. I think in a couple weeks, and hopefully, and
Right.
yeah, I mean, unfortunately, a lot of things are still to be determined. So, kind of waiting to see what we have in store.
Right. So that's a great segue for providing that, because we're all affected by COVID right now. All of our lives in different ways, and for even the actors trying to figure out what in a global pandemic. And you have made the really incredible decision to do the stadium. Aaron, a little bit is a initiative to help 70 children basic needs in the next 12 months. I know that we've talked a little bit, but can you just share some ways that it has impacted us, but then also a little bit impacting the developing world and the through Fill the Stadium?
You're cutting really in and out, so I only got little bits and pieces of that.
Okay, I'm gonna need to find my AirPods. Is it better when I hold it? Is that better?
Maybe.
Not really. I need to find some headphones.
I think it might be the connection.
Gosh, I can go closer. Let's see. Let me get a better connection.
Okay.
Try to get a better connection over here. Jeremy, can you find my AirPods on my purse for me? Okay. Sitting right next to the router. This might be a little easier. Is that better at all?
I think so. Yeah, that's better.
Okay. Can you find my AirPods for me, please? Share a little bit. I'll try to recap this quickly.
Okay.
Share a little bit about how COVID's affected you, but then also what you know about how it's affecting the developing world and the children who we're serving through Fill the Stadium.
Yeah, obviously COVID has affected a lot of people in a lot of different ways. And, there's a great need at the moment, just for basic needs, food, supplies, anything like that. And, there's, the struggle is very real here in the U.S. and, especially for developing countries that already didn't have access to a lot of those things. They've been hit even harder now with even less supplies than they had before.
Yeah. So thank you. Thanks for helping save that, or I'm cutting out. I think I'm cutting out for everybody, so I apologize.
Yeah. All good.
I just sent my husband on a scavenger hunt to try to find my headphones, so we'll see how he does on that. So basically Fill the Stadium's providing life savings, food, sanitation, medical access, so COVID testing if necessary, or but food is really the biggest thing, and that's what the biggest need that we're providing for through Fill the Stadium. You are one of the many awesome pro athletes who have really come alongside and are on our leadership. Do you know any other of the athletes who are on there who are your favorites?
I don't know any of them personally, but I think I have a lot of respect for everybody else who's on that committee. Love being a big Patriots fan. I love watching the McCourty twins play, and they're always really fun to watch, and happy to have them part of it. And yeah, I think just a great group of athlete people.
Yeah. Yeah. I really just wanted you to give a shout out to the McCourties because they're also
Yes.
awesome. But I know
And I'm a
you're a
fellow
big Pats
twin,
fan.
so we have that in common.
Right, right. We
Yes.
gotta make that happen. We gotta get a photo op going for that.
Yeah.
So then why fill the stadium? There's a lot of incredible I know you're a part of some other really incredible work that's going on right now, COVID response work and community service work. Why did you decide to be a part of Compassion and fill the stadium right now?
I just got connected through one of our league pastors, Lori, asked me to come onto a call along probably a few months ago at this point, and it's kind of very much late notice, kind of on a whim. So was on the call. Compassion. I remember when I was growing up, my parents always sponsored a child through Compassion every year. So I knew the organization and felt comfortable with the organization, and was able to dive into some stuff here in the U.S. Obviously, I didn't want to look past different needs that are right in front of us on our own, home soil, but wanted to be able to do both. So I think having this connection internationally was huge.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. And it is incredible. I remember one of our first conversations, you mentioned how you wanted to make sure you were helping in the Chicago area since that's your home. But then also still at a heart for understanding the impact that people are experiencing in other countries and in the countries where we serve. And a big thing that we talked about is how in those countries, there's no safety net. These families, there's no food bank, there's no social security. And so when someone doesn't make food that day, they doesn't make money that day, they don't get to eat that day.
Right.
That's really what we're seeing and kind of what we're experiencing and getting to serve people in those positions. So we are trying to fill the stadium, which is a 70,000 capacity stadium, is what we're using as a visual to try to help people understand the need that we're up against right now. Do you remember the largest fan or crowd that you've played in front of?
The largest crowd that I've ever played in front of was probably at Maracanã Stadium in Brazil. That was in the soccer world specifically is one of the world's most famous stadiums. So that was incredibly special to get to play in that stadium. I think that was at the time 85 or 90,000. So I remember being a 20-year-old kid, very overwhelmed, but it's been fun to get to play in some pretty big stadiums in front of great crowds.
Yeah. And so you've played in those. I bet a lot of us who are watching have been one of the fans in that kind of size stadium. When we then think of that number of people and realize that's the number of children who we're trying to provide like support to, how do you feel? Like, what is that kind of realization of that number do for you?
I think it just makes it something that you can actually like think about. It's something relevant to what I can see and what I can understand. And it's an incredible opportunity to get to play those games in stadiums that big in front of incredible fans, and to kind of be able to visualize what that looks like to have a stadium like that filled with kids that we're able to help just gives a great visual aid to what we're trying to do.
Yeah, that's awesome. And don't want to keep you too long. Don't want to keep our folks who are watching too long. But if you just have an opportunity, knowing that so many of your fans are watching, it looks like from the comments, there's a lot of youth soccer players watching. As for people who look up to you, how can you help them understand like that they should be a part of this or why they should be a part of this? And kind of what it means to use your influence as a pro athlete that you worked so hard to get to this point, and like why you're doing it for Fill the Stadium.
Yeah, I think, it's just important for every one of us. I think we're all called to serve in our own ways, and we're all called to love people. And this for me was how I was able to get involved and try to do that. And I think, the biggest thing is there's no act too small. If you have, if money is not something that you can help provide right now, maybe it's reaching out and talking to somebody, or you know, just smiling at somebody that, you know, you never know how you're going to make somebody's day just with a simple act like that. And then obviously if you have the means to contribute financially, and that's something that you feel called and comfortable doing, then great. But I think sometimes we get scared and turned away from trying to help because we feel like we need to do something massive in order to make a difference. And I think that's just not true. I think every little bit goes a long way and leads towards, you know, the greater mission.
That's incredible. No wonder everyone looks up to you. I mean, duh. And you're exactly right. So if someone is in a position to financially support Fill the Stadium, fillthestadium.com is a great place to go. You can learn more. You could donate there. $500 provides for a child and their family for the next 12 months. But like Alyssa said, every dollar counts. Every dollar goes towards that. It doesn't have to start at 500. It's a different act or a different amount is right for everybody. And so, what we would love to do is get, you know, if you're on a youth team and you're watching, get your team together, you know, get your high school team together, whatever it is, come together as a group or as a team, or challenge your team, your older team or younger team in your club, to help fill the stadium. Alyssa, anything else? Any last thing you wanted to include or mention or share?
No, not really. Just hope everyone is staying safe, staying healthy, and wishing everyone a very happy new year.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
We're thankful that you're part of this lead team. Fillthestadium.com, and shoot us messages if you have any questions about it. Thanks so much, Alyssa.
Yeah, no problem.
All right.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.